Good day. How are you doing? Guys, some of you just don't get certain things right, and it really gets on my nerves. The raffle results will be shown at the end of the Bitcoin analysis to see who won. The raffle has been done, okay? I'm extracting the comments. I set up a website with Damit. How did you break the record for sure? This was the only thing left for you to do. This one hadn't been unlocked yet. If that website's name comes up, I'll block it, and I'll block my own IP as well. I'll do it there. The draw will happen, and ID will come out. Then, dear, you need to go message Inner Circle. Send a message to the Liminal bot. Message its Inner Circle. Then, they'll guide you on what to do to claim your prize. Yesterday, our friend paid a message from his shaft, but I still haven't asked which stage he's at, whether he got verified or not. Okay, so today it should happen for you. There's nothing special you need to do to qualify for the draw. If you don't know, let me explain it clearly now. You have to be present during the first hour of the analysis. During the analysis, I'll give you 3 words. You need to write down those 3 words, like the video, and you also need to be subscribed so you can be entered into the draw. Every day, one $100 prize is drawn and given to one person. As for reaching 3,000 followers, that just happened all of a sudden. The guys from the Sajja team are still getting things ready. It's not done yet. Once everything's set, we'll celebrate together, make some noise, and cheer as a group. That's that. I'll also be there for a minute. The market went into that same consolidation we talked about together. Oh, and one thing, Naveed, you wrote liminal wrong in your story. I've made so many videos about Geliminal, and we've gone on podcasts and all that. Our main brand name is Liminal. But since you wrote it wrong, our spelling of liminal is different from the one in the English dictionary. In the video about this trading strategy in Sports City, which the next part will come out on Tuesday, so set an alarm for yourself for Tuesday at 5. Make sure you're there to watch it. Liminal is written there too. Check out how it's spelled. The market went into that consolidation I'm talking about. It's really cool, but it hasn't gone all the way yet. I don't want to buy. I don't want to sell. I don't want to do anything at all. The market is in this waiting mode. Waiting for what? 1,000 different things. Will the US government shut down? Will the dollar drop? Will there be peace, or will the wars keep going? So, will there be a correction or not? Will Iran go to the negotiating table or not? From a global perspective, we're waiting for a lot of things. When it comes to Bitcoin, if the risk doesn't materialize, this is just how the world and the market work. This is the game. Sometimes it ranges a bit, then we go up. This risk-on situation has to happen. I mean, you don't know if it's risk-on or risk-off. In the market, we have 2 scenarios, risk-off and risk-on. When it's risk-on, money flows into the stock markets. When it's risk-off, because the world is risky, people want their money to be safe, so they buy US bonds, or they buy dollars or euros, or they go and buy gold. They buy Swiss francs. When it's risk-off, they go into these assets. We're really in a risk-off environment. We can tell from the gold chart the most risk-off situation possible. The price of gold versus Bitcoin. Here's the chart. Is this chart useful? Yeah, it's useful. It's not like it's useless, honestly. Do they react to each other in the middle range? That's right, yes. But you have to keep something in mind when analyzing XAU/BTC. Both Bitcoin and gold fluctuate against the dollar. Sometimes, when this chart is green and bullish, maybe Bitcoin is dropping more than gold, so XAU/BTC goes up. Or maybe gold is rising against the dollar more than Bitcoin is, so again, XAU/BTC goes up. Or like right now, gold is going up while Bitcoin is dropping, which creates a candle like this. You really need to pay attention to this. This chart alone gives you some perspective, but you need to look at it alongside other data. It's not like this chart alone tells you everything. Now, I'll walk you through the process so you understand what I'm saying, and then you can use it yourself. It's not really useful for daily trading positions. It's more for figuring out the general trend or identifying important levels. If you want to know whether money is moving out of gold or not, or if money is moving from Bitcoin into gold, it's somewhat useful for that. But this channel isn't a direct one. When money leaves gold, it doesn't go straight into Bitcoin. Their worlds are a bit apart from each other. There are a few other moves that happen in between before it gets into Bitcoin. Or when Bitcoin leaves, there are a few more moves before it goes into gold. In other words, when the market turns risk on, crypto is the last level of the risk on space. In between, there are plenty of cooler and safer places for people to invest their money. Okay, so right now on the daily time frame, it's getting rejected from resistance at 43. This is a strong uptrend, and just one rejection candle doesn't really mean much. We can't say it's definitely getting rejected from this level. It would need to come down for a few days, maybe drop to around 40, 33, and test that area again, get rejected again, then we could say, okay, Bitcoin is starting to show more strength compared to gold. If you want to look at it this way, you could say, has Bitcoin been showing more strength against gold every day on this time frame? And yeah, it has been getting stronger. It's been getting stronger. It's gone from $3,000 up to $107,000, so obviously it's getting stronger. If you compare all the past charts, every time you just look at the new box, meaning from this level onward, for example, from September 2024 onward, look at it in this time frame and see how they've ranged against each other and how their strength compares. So, for example, the question is, if this 27.32 breaks or if it breaks here, there are two scenarios that could happen. Either Bitcoin is about to make a strong and crazy move, or gold's upward trend is over and it's coming down to form one of its historical bottoms, and people are getting wiped out in gold. You can conclude one of these two outcomes when this bottom is about to break. But if this top is about to break, you can't really conclude that. For example, Bitcoin is going to crash hard or gold is going to shoot up a lot. You can't really draw that conclusion. Okay? Alright, now, if this pair is getting rejected here against gold, first we need to go and see what state gold itself is in. What is gold doing? You just made a big red candle, man. Why did you stress us out so much? Why did you give us all that stress? In a market where everyone is making a profit, that's a dangerous market. Not everyone should be in profit. Don't do anything. When everyone is in profit, what happens? Not everyone is supposed to win. So, what are the targets for gold now? Up to this point, I've been talking about the long term targets. Along the way, we also need to have corrections. Here's a point. Is this now? Do we have a similar situation now? Gold hasn't moved enough. Gold rallies aren't always 500%. For example, if you measure this one, it's gone up 260%. To reach 500%, that would be around 8,000, as I told you. But that previous rally took 3,000 days. You've spent 2,700 days. So, in terms of days, it doesn't have to take as long. But it's not certain the same thing will happen. That was 2000. Now we're in 2025. Conditions are different, gold's use is different, and how the market and world interact with gold is different. Hold on, before I forget the first word, let me get that word. The first part of that is the discount code. These are different conditions, but this gold that we're seeing here, well, I only have one open position on gold, and I opened it from lower levels. And here, yesterday and the day before, I was talking with you on Forex City Pro, saying that I want to close all of it. I was talking with Saman, and he came and said, wait, first change the factors on the 4-hour chart. We were talking together in PB, and he said, do this after. We came and didn't change the factors. I said, okay, it's not giving an error either. So now, if we do change the factors, I'll close the entire gold position down here. And if the gold factors, which have been stuck in this range, break out, it could be a positive sign for Bitcoin. The indicators are showing red. We're at the top, an overbought territory, and it can't get more overbought than this. You make your own decision about gold. Go check with Saman, get the data, and decide what to do with the gold position. I have my own reasons. I want to be in profit. I want to close it. Gold's movements are showing red, but on the same day, Bitcoin is showing a bit of green, just a little bit. Even Bitcoin itself is showing red, but the red volume that gold has printed is bigger. Bitcoin had a reaction and bounced back up. That's why my chart. That's why my chart has a single red candle like this here. Why? Because since Bitcoin started dropping, it found some support, and at that point, it got rejected, and when it was going up, it also got rejected at an important level. So something is happening here. Just keep an eye on this chart, because it can give us confirmation for profit as long as it stays like this. That is, Bitcoin should start finding support, and gold should start getting rejected and go for correction. In that case, if our chart here turns bearish, we get a confirmation for taking profit and a confirmation that the market is becoming risky. This is a chart you should check every day, especially recently, because it's important. Okay? I check it myself too, because it gives confirmation about whether the market is risk on or risk off. What happened to the dominance? Nasdaq's ups and downs are actually in our favor. It really depends on your perspective and how you look at it, but it's not bad. The current situation is like this, and let's see how we can use it. Look at this. Let's say it's Saturday, or today is Sunday. Today, we might be on both sides of the market, maybe 4 or 5 positions, but we might not really follow up on them closely. We definitely have to open positions, but honestly, if when we're opening a position, this 59 to 30 level is breaking down and Bitcoin itself is ranging, like here, then it's kind of a joke. Solana could give another long position at this level. For example, Solana and BNB aren't doing so well. Link 2, these positions aren't really that great. Why do I say these positions aren't that great? One reason is that when they just keep ranging in one spot like this, usually their initial move is weak, and then what happens next is generally what you'd expect. It's just how it goes, whether it's at the bottom or the top. After 4 or 5 candles, today we had 5 and breaking 39. On the lower side, our bid was ranging. Honestly, it's worth risking a long position. What about the short position? I told you yesterday. For one, take your profit. So, for one, take your profit and keep the other open for support with confidence. If this is a trigger, we'll take the risk. We can open a position. I'll get to that in a moment. The reason will make more sense to you as to why I'm saying we can open one. We need to check the total again. All we know is that this is a very limited and important support area. That's it. But for now, we haven't seen any reaction to it. There's no confirmation yet for this area to become a good support or that it already is a good support. Unless it tests this area again or makes a move, for example up to 3.725. The same goes for total 2. The conditions are exactly the same. Forget about the numbers and all that. The structure of the chart is that this is a good support, but it hasn't shown a reaction yet, so for now we don't have confirmation. It's the same for total 3, and for Andelzadi, it's kind of the same too. Again, I'm telling you, for now, when things aren't very clear, don't just go and say these coins are on discount. Solana is down 40%, Lido is down 30%. There's no such thing as a discount in financial markets. We don't have discounts here. We have entry points, stop sizes, and risk-reward ratios. Now, you could have bought Solana at $200 and your stop could be 50%, or you could buy Solana at $400 and your stop could be 10%. After it reaches $600, the one who entered at $400 will make more profit because they put in more capital and took a higher risk reward. So, get this discount idea out of your head. It's not like buying clothes. Those who work in retail know better than me that discounts don't really mean much. They just raise the price and then offer a so-called discount. Unless it's off-season, like when they're selling jackets in the middle of summer. So Adelzadi, if you're far from confirmation, stay away. You've given USDT. This trend is really sharp. For me to feel confident that this isn't going to drop sharply, it needs to bounce all the way back to 4.6. Now, it might play around here for 2 or 3 days, but for me to be completely at ease, if it bounces back sharply, you need to quickly change your perspective and approach so you can easily open your position here. The important thing is this change in perspective, because if it doesn't fully bounce back, the trend will turn bullish and it could be a good bullish move. These moments are really important, and we're stuck in one right now, just like those other crucial moments we had before. For now, we haven't even gotten confirmation that we've been rejected from here. Or our friend here needs to come back and get rejected at 5.20 again, or it needs to set a lower high here. One of these things has to happen. This kind of ranging, as I told you, doesn't mean the sellers have gotten weak, nor does it mean the buyers have gotten strong. It just means, man, it's Saturday. After all that crazy movement, everyone's gone to sleep. Everyone was exhausted from all the stress and pressure, so they just went to bed. Even I went to sleep. I went to bed at 7 last night and slept until 7 in the morning, 12 hours straight. The amount of stress and pressure we went through was intense. And still, we think, for example, if we trade for 20 years, we won't get hurt. We have risk management. We have capital management. Maybe we don't even have a position, or if we do, we know what to do. But still, those candles and those events bring a lot of stress, excitement, and pressure. Now imagine if you're responsible for 3,000 people. Don't think that just because you get more experienced in trading, this level of stress will go away. The type of stress might change. It might become more manageable and less bothersome, but the fatigue still hits you. That's what this shows. Even today, this is just the first move. It can determine what we want to do, and then, as traders, what we want to do next. So today, especially after 4 or 5 o'clock, whatever happens in the market is really, it's not reliable. Right now, if we go into Bitcoin, I'd say this box isn't great. I can't, if it breaks, go long, or if it breaks, go short. It's risky, or dear Sedati, maybe it needs to come down to 4.96, range here, make a box at the bottom, or, as I'm saying, if it comes here and gets rejected, goes down, that's profit. If this leg starts, and you see volume in the coin during the week when it drops, then you can say, okay, we're continuing the drop. Again, you'll be left with a 50% loss, right? Do you see the overall picture of this space? In my opinion, the market is very, very likely to go into a range. I see a lot of signs that we're about to enter a range. Until the news, even until, for example, the interest rate announcement, our week is going to look like this. Next week, there's a high chance that our candles will be small, and there's a high probability that volatility will be low. Does this daily chart have any value? Yes, it does on this daily chart, and it was moving. Why are you even saying this? Basically, our second wave has always been like this. It's my motto. I'm saying it's the second wave, you say it's the third wave, and its transition is like this. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and that's how it gets calculated. The second wave is usually a correction. The fourth wave is usually a correction in the context of the overall move. So, generally, my third wave should be my strongest wave. That's why most of the time, we open positions during the third wave, because it's the strongest wave. It gives easier confirmations, allows for better position sizing, and makes bigger moves. That's why we usually open our main position in the third wave. For the fifth wave, for example, we might open a small position, but we close it quickly and take profit. The A wave, until something happens, we can't say anything. The information and data we're getting from the chart are correct, and generally, this move should be stronger than the previous one, assuming it's going to move in 5 waves. If it's not going to move, then nothing. If it's weaker here, for example, that's why I say the probability of ranging is higher than making a significant move. The internet also cut out, and this got long. Where were we on the chart? We talked about the weekly, we were on the daily. I said we have divergence in those things. We just know that this level itself is an important support/resistance zone, and it's at the bottom. Now, whether it's at 100,000 or not, from a psychological perspective, that's an important number. or whatever the reason, this area is what determines whether a new structure forms or not. Meaning, if we go, for example, to move toward 100,000, then we look to see what the range box looks like, and whether we make a fake out to the downside, and whether this bullish trend continues. Or if we're just coming down to shake out weak hands and then go for that move in those events. If, at this level, we bounce back up, we can say that we just had a box here, faked out both up and down, and then came back into the same box. The story is the same as before. We just shook out the weak hands once, and up here, people took profits. That's the data we can get. On the 4-hour chart, the fact that it's been chopping up into tiny pieces here means that none of these give you reliable data. Don't get fooled. If you open your oscillators and indicators now and say, this one is giving a buy signal, that one is giving this, when the price range gets this small, they give you random, unreliable data, because the data they're getting isn't accurate. But since they normalize the data themselves, they might show you some cool signals, but don't get tricked. Don't use Smith, don't use MACD, don't use RSI, don't use your oscillators and indicators for now. For now, just look at the 4 candles themselves. The 4 candles themselves are showing that buyers and sellers aren't present. We're not present in this environment that's forming here. Now, for example, if I put these 2 for you, does breaking these 2 give you a position? It does, but I want you to be aware of this. I'd like us to open the position. I want us to learn this together, and I want my friends to open the position too so we can learn this topic. If, after this kind of situation, what should we do next? Because if we don't learn this now, later on, if the market gets heavily short and we're supposed to open a bunch of short positions, we'll really get burned at these levels. It's better to take a 0.25% stop loss here than to take a 25% stop loss in a panic situation later. Okay, this break at 107-344 gives you a long, and the break at 106-350 gives you a short. The short could be better than the long because we have the trend behind it. For help, keep the stop loss small, enter quickly in the direction of the move, and you can hold it down to this bottom. Let's see what happens. Now, should we open on Bitcoin or on altcoins? Our Bitcoin dominance is going up, green, but this one is going down, red, meaning it's trying to range here. Overall, Bitcoin dominance is a bit red, or just a little green, but the red is stronger, meaning more money is flowing out. When money is flowing out, it's not a bad idea to look for long positions in your altcoins. For example, let's check BTC.D for a minute and look at its past. Don't just say, oh, it's bearish. Even right now, it's not that interesting, at least until 0.5, it's bearish. Sol BTC's situation is a bit better right now. It's making some higher highs and higher lows. There's a resistance here at 17.583, so you could say it might move up to around 17.7. So, if we want to open that short position, Sol BTC at 187.74 is a better entry trigger. Don't go too big on your position size. Keep it small so you can hit your stop loss quickly if needed. So, what happens next? I have a short position open at the same time as a long position. Yes. Do you have a problem with that? Think about it for a second and write down for me why you have an issue with it. Why do you think having both is unusual? I'll explain more about it tomorrow. You guys should also think about why you find it unusual so that we can talk about it together a bit more tomorrow. That's it for Bitcoin. We're not buying Bitcoin. Not at all. Would I give you 100,000? There isn't a safe place. If I wanted to tell you to buy Bitcoin right now, or even give it to you, it would go up to around 92,000. We could get stuck for a while. Let's wait until it breaks through 115 or at least 103,000. No BTC at all. Not bad. Not bad at all, really. I mean, we should shift our focus a bit back to Ethereum with the chart they're making. We have a kind of psychological support here. Breaking 3934 makes that position risky for us, giving a long signal. Breaking 477 is also important. This could be our first early long position. We've discussed these higher levels many times. I always say, when we reach them, I'll discuss them again. For a short, if 3699 is lost, we can open a really good short position. Really good, really good. If we see an increase in volume, then close your previous position. If there's no increase in volume, don't open a new position. We have to see what happens here. It's really important. The increase in volume is crucial because this leg down is much weaker than the previous leg. This drop, this leg, is weaker than the previous one. That's why I'm not saying go and sell everything you have and open a short position and just hold a short position overall. It's not like that. Also, as long as Bitcoin doesn't close a 4-hour candle below 4, don't close that long position you opened lower, guys. Today, I'll post the watch list. I'll try to post it early so if we want to open this risky short position, we can. Our long position today isn't exciting. There aren't many opportunities in the market to make a move. As for the last word, Inner Circle thing is a 50% discount code for the Inner Circle. That's all. A boss, starting from tomorrow. The chart right now isn't really giving us much of a chance. We're just hovering around levels 4 and 5 behind the chart. The volume could come in, but in my opinion, you should open a risky position with 25 leverage, more for learning purposes, so you can get a feel for the environment. This is how the market is. You have to pay a small price to learn something. You need to be able to write it down. If you don't, you'll have to pay that price again in the future to learn the same thing. I'm just telling you this so you're aware. I talked about short positions and taking profit yesterday. If you haven't done it, check the dominance and see which one is worth taking profit on. Personally, I prefer not to take profit right now. My preference, given the dominance I'm seeing, is to hold, because altcoins could bounce back more and I could lose out on more profit if I sell now. The gold to Bitcoin chart can help you figure out a trend reversal, or where the money is likely to go, or to put it better, whether the market is risk on or risk off. What is the market waiting for? It's waiting for the US government to open up to see what's going on. Thanks for sticking with the video. Like and subscribe. Tuesday at 5 p.m., part 3 of the spot strategy for every city releases.